Hey everybody, my name is Jen, the Caffeinated Crafter. Today is Friday, August the 30th, 2024, and this is Flosstube number 87. If you're new to my channel, welcome. This is a channel where I talk about my cross stitch, and if you're returning to my channel, I'd like to welcome you back. Thanks so much for watching and following along with my journey. We have a lot to go over today. Yeah. So, welcome to all the new people. Yeah, so I got a lot of new subscribers in the past week. They just came out of nowhere. They just started coming out of the woodworks. Every time I checked the YouTube studio for comments, it's like the number kept going up and up and up. It's over 3,100 now. What? So yeah, thanks everybody for hitting the subscribe button. But I know why it went up. Jessie Marie from Jessie Marie Does Stuff gave me a really nice shout out. Thank you so much, Jessie Marie. I had no clue that you watched my channel. I had no idea. I was watching her video and all of a sudden my name popped up. I'm like, what? It's so weird hearing other people talk about you. But yeah, she gave me a super nice shout out. So thank you so much. And I'm going to link her channel down below if you guys don't know who she is, which I'm sure you do. But I'm going to go ahead and link her channel down below so you can check her out if you don't already. But she is the one who runs WhipGo. She created the game WhipGo. Basically, she calls, if you've never heard of WhipGo, it's kind of like bingo. You select your whips, you select your goals. She calls out 2 numbers every month, and you do the goal for that number. She has videos explaining what WhipGo is all about. So if you want to learn more about that, go check out her channel. I tried WhipGo a couple years ago. I think I set my goals too high though, because, and I also set goals on projects I didn't really want to work on. So every time a number got called, I'm like, let me work on something else. And I never finished it. But anyway, I will link her channel down below. Thank you again, Jessie. Okay, so there are a couple Flosstubers I would like to give shout outs to. They're new Flosstubers. Not new to me. I've actually been friends with both of these people on Facebook for quite a while. The first one is my friend Stuart. His channel is Stuarts and Stitches, I think. I'm going to link his channel down below. He is from Scotland. He has, he's posted one video, and he basically kind of shows like a mini whip parade for his first Flosstube, of a lot of the like fancy ladies and stuff that he's worked on, and some samplers and some sals that he's worked on. He has not shown everything that he has though, because he has a lot of full coverage pieces that he did not show. I'm sitting there watching them. I'm like, wait a minute, where's Honeymoon Sunset? Where's Catching Race? Where's this piece? Where's this piece? He didn't show them all. So he said that he's going to show them as the videos progress and he gets to them in his room. Yeah, but man, I could listen to him talk all day with his accent. I love his accent. Mr. Whiskers, you want to come say hi? Come here. No, okay. The other one is Sisky. Oh, hold on, Sisky. It was Sisky Ellen, but now it's Sisky Stitches. And they're both on Instagram too. Sisky Stitches is the other one, and she is from Belgium. And she is, if you like a lot of whips and long whip parades, I really suggest that you go check her out, because she has over 200 whips like I do. And the first, like, is it 4 videos is her whip parade, and then she has a regular Flosstube posted after that. So go check both of them out. I will link their channels down below in the description box as well. Okay, so I have 2 FFOs that I want to show you before we get to my stitching. I don't finish things myself. what I do is I give them to my finisher and she finishes them for me. My finisher is my mother. I give my stuff to my mom and my mom finishes my things for me. Sometimes she'll ask me what I want done with the piece, and if I have an idea, I'll let her know. Otherwise, I tell her, do whatever you want with it. So, blast from the past. Do you guys remember, if you've been with me for a while, do you remember that wolves piece, that winter wolves that I had? Basically, it could have been a whip of shame, but that one that I had for like 20 years, all I had left to do was back stitching, and I finally got it done, last year? She finished it into a pillow for me. Look at this. So if you're not familiar with this piece, this is a dimensions kit. Let me show you. She put some like binding on the sides here. And then look at that. That's the back of the piece there. Look at this. I love it. I absolutely love it. But yeah, she finished it into a pillow, but this is a really old Dimensions. It might have actually even been Creative Accents, which was like a division of Dimensions or something. But this, I believe the pattern was called Winter Wolves. And I don't even know if this thing is available anymore. But she said she was going to frame it, but I guess it was like crooked or something. I don't know, because I mean the thing is like super, super old. And I want to say it was from like the 90s. And I just finished it last year. But yeah. Let's just admire this thing one more time. Love it. Oh, I was storing it. I meant to show you guys too. I was storing it in my crap bag. I was like, hey, I got some crap to show. Let's pull out my crap bag. I got this on Amazon. Crap bag. So I got some crap to show. Let's get the crap bag out. Okay. So that's one. And then the other thing, Jessie Marie, is Glory of Autumn. This was another piece that I had for 150 years that all I had left to do was I finished the cross stitching in 2017. All I had left to do was back stitching, and it took me 4 years to finally buckle down and get this done, and my mother framed it. Ooh, glare. Look at that. This is a Dimensions kit as well. Oh my God, ring light glare. But this is another Dimensions kit. You might just have to deal with it. Oh wait, maybe if I do it like this. Look at that. Oh my God, I adore this as well. I want to hang this on my wall, but I got to get stuff to hang. Like the hanger things. I have to get those to hang. I might have some though. But this was a kit from Dimensions as well. And Jessie Marie and I were actually both working on this piece. We finished it the same year. I finished this at Stitching in the Springs, the retreat I went to last year. I finished it there and I got to ring the bell. And then she said that she finished hers like a month or 2 later. So check that out. I love it. Oh, it looks so good. I see now why people are just holding their finishes up for being, everyone's like, okay. But man, I'm just admiring this for a minute. God, that looks so good. This is still available, by the way. I've seen it and I look at it and I'm like, ha, I don't have to stitch you again because I've already done it. Okay. On to the whips. Now I have a cat hair. I feel like I have a cat hair. Okay, so here is my board. I worked on all the projects again, and I got a lot of stitches done on the Haid style. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, I got to work on all the projects, and I was able to complete my goal for the Whip of Shame. for the month of August. So let's go ahead and get started on showing everything. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to show you is my whip of shame for the month of August. This is Dimensions Gold Collection called Magnificent Wizard, designed by Dawn Mates. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I got this back in like 2002, and it's just been languishing. So to all the new people, my whip of shame, basically I have a pile of whips. I want to say like maybe it was 16, but I finished one. So I think it's now 15 whips that are over 10 years old. And so in the middle of the month, I decided back in May that I wanted to do a whip of shame where I do like 100 stitches a day on one of these projects for the whole month to try to get some work in on it. You see his tail right there? That's Mr. Whiskers sitting in the doorway. Mr. Whiskers, hi baby. So anyway, whip of shame. I forgot what I was trying to say. Really old whip. I do 100 stitches a day for the month on it to get some work on it, because these whips, as much as I enjoy what they look like, I don't want to work on them. So it's kind of like, it's easier for me to do it this way where it's like 100 stitches a day, where I'm like, okay, all right, I can do 100 stitches on it today. So this was viewer's choice for the month of August. 2 weeks ago, I pulled out, so like halfway through the month, what I started doing was I would draw 2 of them out of the basket, and then I let you guys vote which one you want to see me work on. I dropped something, hang on. I let you guys vote on which one you want to see me work on for the following month. So we'll go over the whip of shame winner for the month of September once I'm done with all this stuff, because some people just want to see the cross stitching and they don't care about anything else. So I'm not going to show you last week's photo. I'm going to put up what it looked like at the beginning of the month. So this is my starting point for the beginning of the month. And I have done, for this week, I did extra stitches to hit my goal, because my goal was 3,100 stitches for the month and for 100 a day. And I did extra so that I could hit my goal and start on the September whip of shame after I film. So this week I did 965 stitches on this thing. For the month, I have done look at that, 3,103 stitches. I'm double checking over here. Yeah, 3,103 stitches. Look, I'm trying to hold this so that it's like a side by side. I don't know how this is going to turn out because I'm thinking about where the photo usually pops up. But look at that. So I worked my way over to the side. This week I got this mostly done to like right there. And I worked my way over to the side here. I worked a lot like down in this area, working on the wing. I have my edges taped up with transport tape from when I was working in the hospital. I mean, I still work in the hospital, but when I was, this is the tape they use to secure down IVs. I had a roll of it, so I secured my edges with it back then. But yeah, 3,103 stitches for the month. Let's get you a little bit closer so you can see. And I want to say, I think I did this already. I think you guys already saw this part where I did his face and his hat. I think. I don't remember from last week to this week what was done and what wasn't done because I did so many stitches on it this week. But this is the dragon's wing coming in over here. So I'm quite pleased with the progress on that. Somebody had asked me, someone had asked me if I would just keep the whip of shame out and keep working on it until it's done. That is a no. There is a reason why these are whips of shame, because I get tired of them and I need to set them aside. That's why they've been languishing for over 10 years. So yeah, no, these will not be, because I'm at the point now, Bless This Nest is the closest one to a finish. But other than that, none of these pieces are even close to being done, and I would be working on them forever. I'd rather break it up and work on, change up. God, I have a cat hair on my lip and it's driving me crazy. I'd rather change it up and work on something different every month. Okay, so there's that one. Next up, let's do, hang on. I got so much stuff on my couch right now. Let's do the non-full coverage piece that I worked on this week. So this technically is a whip of shame. If you are new, I have a whole, check out my plans video. If you have not already, I will try to remember to link that down below as well. That specific video, but I have big gargantuous plans, and this project here happened to fall in the random picks for the non-full coverage, but this is one of the whips of shame. So if I ever pull this out while this is in my rotation, if I pull this out, it will, for a whip of shame piece, this will not be a whip of shame. It's going to be put on hold until the goal gets done. But this is 3 bird watchers. This is a really old Dimensions kit. I'll put this back up. Designed by Martha Edwards. This is now my oldest piece. I got this back in like 1997. So this is from the 1900s, as the youngins call it. This is from the 1900s. So since this is in my non-full coverage goal rotation, I have a goal of getting, well, that explains why the bag is zipped. That wasn't the bag for this. I have a goal of getting 5,000 stitches on this. Whenever I get it, it's not by a certain time or anything. And this is what it looked like the last time you saw it. And I put in 602 stitches. This was mostly, it was a combination of full cross and half cross. And I put it all over here. And when I do half cross, 2 half crosses count as 1 full cross. So it looks like it's a lot more than 602 because a lot of it was half cross. So it's like double the amount of the half crosses because they count as, 2 of them count as 1. But yeah, all my stitches were over here on the side. So there was a couple spots that I noticed I had messed up on, but I found them and I fixed them, so we're good. And I know that there's over here somewhere, eventually when I get to it, I think this right here is supposed to be half cross and I did full cross, and I just kind of left it, and I was debating on if I was going to fix it or frog it and fix it or just leave it. I'm not sure yet, but anyway, that's where I'm at with that one. And then the full coverage piece that I worked on this week was checking the list. And this is a piece from Charting Creations. Artwork is by Marcelo Corti. And it is really cool. I showed my my son, my 11-year-old, I showed him what the piece, because he came in while I was working on it, and I showed him what it was going to look like, and he was like talking, and I just held the picture up. He was like, oh, that's so cool, because it is so cool. Look at that. It's So like I said, this is from Charting Creations. I love this so much. I actually have 3 pieces that are like this from Charting Creations by Marcelo Corti. They're all grayscale with the Santa and whatever he's holding in color. This is 280 by 419. It has 80 colors, and I'm converting this into a diagonal. I'm doing this 1/1 full cross on, looks like maybe a 28 count easy count Lugana. Oh man, I'm gonna have to, someone left me a comment and I screenshot it because I wanted to remember the name, and now I don't remember the name. Someone gave me a great idea for working on these full coverage pieces. But this is where I'm at with it now. I did another 400 stitches on him, and I'm almost completely diagonal with this. Oh, I wish, I'll put it back up in a second. I wish I could remember who said it. I think I'm gonna put their name right here if I remember. But she asked, hey, have you thought about going to another corner, like and bringing the diagonals in together, like do a diagonal? And I was like, oh my God, that's a great idea. I think she had suggested it on either the Sal or Honeymoon Sunset because all the corners have been worked in. I don't want to do it on a tent stitch piece, but I do want to try it on a full cross where, like, say I get this diagonal done here, and then I count over to this corner and I do the diagonals to be the same amount as here. And then I go down at the bottom and do the same thing and the same thing. And then I just kind of rotate through and do a diagonal here, then here, then here. And so it all comes in like that, like to the middle. That would be really cool. Thank you, person who I cannot remember your name. Oh my, I feel terrible now. Stitched in Pieces, maybe? I don't know. I'm gonna put her name in up here, and if I want to say it was a fellow Flosstuber, I think, and if it is, I'm gonna link their channel down below too. I meant to write your name down and I forgot. Okay, so when I get this diagonal done, my plan for this is when I get this diagonal done, I'm going to count over to this corner. It's super easy on gridded fabric. So I'll count over to this corner over here, and I will start working on diagonals until it matches up how many I've done here. And then, or maybe I'll just do like 1 or 2 diagonals and then count down to the bottom and do the diagonal, a couple diagonals here and then here. And then I'll go back and I'll catch them up to however many diagonals this is right here. And then I'll just boop, boop, but just rotate through. I think that I was talking to Alaire about it, and she was like, yo, that would look really cool in that grayscale piece because it'll just be gray, 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 gray. And then the Santa will start coming in. And I was like, oh, that's gonna look so cool. So that's my plan for this, but I gotta get this diagonal done first. So I am now at 4,319 stitches out of 117,320, and I am at 3.68% done. And so, like I said, I don't want to do it with my tent stitch, my half cross pieces, because previously I had tried doing diagonal stitching because my stitches go left to right when I do them tent stitch. And previously I was doing my diagonal, I was doing diagonals, and I was going left from the left like I usually do. And I was starting to notice I was getting diagonal lines because of tension, I believe. So I started doing my diagonals from the right because my stitches go to the left, and I'm noticing that I'm not getting lines. So if it's a half cross, I want to keep it that way. But my full cross pieces, I think I might try to start doing that, where I do, if they're on gridded fabric, because I have some that are not on gridded fabric, and I will not be doing that. Because I do not trust myself to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not doing that. But if it's gridded fabric where I've already got the blocks there, I just got to count the blocks and I'm good. All right. So yeah. Okay. Next up is, I'm trying to, let's see, I did full coverage, non full coverage. Okay. My work on it until it's finished piece was Halloween letters. And this is from Primrose Cottage Stitches, designed by Lindsay Waite. And that is what it's going to look like when it's done. Not really sure, again, I'm going to keep saying this. Not really sure why I set this to be a work on it till it's finished, because I only had these 2 lines completed. Anyway, I'm stitching this with mostly the called for colors, except for the, because it calls for coal and whitewash from Weeks Dye Works, fancy black and fancy white. I'm not doing that. I subbed out 310 for the coal and B5200 for whitewash, which was their suggestion. And then I am doing the amethyst and the blooming crocus, which are the purples. I did get those, and the moss, which is the green. From the blooming crocus is from Classic Colorworks, and then the amethyst and the moss are Weeks Dye Works, and then the other 3 colors that were called for were DMC. And I'm doing this on a 14 count Aida. I want to say this is milk chocolate. I think this is a 14 count Aida in the color milk chocolate. And I am doing the ghosts that are in this piece in glow in the dark thread. And this is where I got to with it. I got 483 stitches done on this. So the word tricks got completed, just, and the 2 candies here. I got the orange in the word treats. I got to finish the white that kind of goes along with it. And the candy corn is all done. And so what I have left for this line is I need to do the green in the hat here. I need to finish this purple. And then and then the white, like I was saying, right here. And there are 4 candies that go in between the candy corn. And then this line will be done, and I will move up to this line, which is October 31st. So yeah, there's that. All right. Oh my God, I have so much stuff. Oh, I also received some Stitchy kindness from a couple people, but I'll show that after I do this. Okay, next up, I will show my new start. Okay, so if you did not watch the entire video last week, I had to add a little blip at the end. I had pulled Chilly Willy Stacker as my new start for the week. Once I started looking at it, I was nervous about starting it because there was like a lot of fancy cutting you had to do to the fabric, because it was basically a snowman that you cross stitch the individual body parts and then you cut them all out and you sew them together and, you know, go stuff it and make it a snowman. And so I was a little nervous about it, but then when I started looking at, I didn't pay attention when I bought it, and I did not realize that there was a lot of fancy floss that is needed for it. And so I added a little clip at the end where I replaced my new start with something else, because I was like, between me being nervous about cutting the fabric anyway, but then not even having the colors, like it's a lot of fancy floss that's needed. I decided against starting it right now, so it's being put on the back burner. Actually, it's not even on the back burner. It's like it's in the freezer right now. It's in the freezer. I'm not dealing with that right now. So I pulled a different new start, and this is Christmas Cupcake from the Cross Stitch Studio. And I was super excited to start this. It is 300 by 315. It has 91 colors. Artwork is by Anders Eisman. I don't know if I said that right, but oh well. And that is what it's going to look like when it's done. This is a no background piece, so you can put it on any fabric that you want. And I am doing this on a fabric of the month that I have from Mystic Fabrics from last year. It is a 20 count Ada in the color Palomino. This was fabric of the month for December of 2023. And saw my park threads. That's basically what the fabric looks like. Oh, I was so excited. Okay, so I did a center start on it, and I got 625 stitches. Now, hang on, I need to arrange, and I will have some fabric left over because I did not need the entire length of this. I would say usually I'm better prepared than this, but if you've seen more than one video, you know I'm not. Okay, so this is gonna look a little funky. Let me try to arrange it so you can see where I actually stitched. I started in the center, okay? And I was picking colors and I was just kind of working them in and everything like that. But as you can see, this is not ungridded fabric. And so I started getting nervous, especially when I started getting up here. Like you see, I have a park thread, so I was like, oh, I hope I counted this right and everything. So I was parking threads. Then I decided, hey, why don't you go ahead and start filling in square by square, going in a spiral. Park it. I come up with the craziest ideas sometimes. So I went back to the center block and I picked a symbol and I worked that symbol in the entire block. And I just, wherever it ended up, I parked it in the next closest, like wherever if the stitch was like with the white here, right? If I ended right here at the last thing and the stitch was like right there, I just parked the thread. Or I would go across to the next one, whatever. So I completed the center 10 by 10 square, and then I went over, which was this one right here. And then I went over and I completed this 10 by 10 square right here. And then, so next time this comes out, did I already start that 10 by 10? Of course, by the time I decided to do this, I was like, halfway done with my stitching session. So the next time that this comes out, I'm going to go up to this square and complete it. And then I'm just going to go, basically, I'm going to go around like this and then just kind of do this in a circle like this with the squares. I know, I'm crazy. Okay, so I did 625 stitches out of 67,748, and I am at 0.92% done. My goal for this right now, because it's a new start, is going to be 3,000 stitches. Okay. Next up is one of my focus pieces. This is from Stitchman Darcy, and it is Yippee-Ki-Yay. It is from Die Hard. At the request of my son, he asked my teenager, he asked me for this piece. Yippee-Ki-Yay, motherfucker. 191 by 79. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. And so I pulled this piece out, I want to say the beginning of the month, I believe. Pretty sure it was the beginning of the month. How much do I have done on it? Yeah, I pulled this out the beginning of the month, and I'm just working on it bit by bit until it gets done. I told him I would pull it out once I got to my 25,000 stitch goal on Honeymoon Sunset, and I got that in July, so I pulled this out starting the beginning of August. And I will keep this out until it's done. So this is what it looked like the last time you saw it. I got 425 stitches on it, and this is where I'm at with it now. P, yay, F you. And I totally left it at P on purpose. Just because. So I did P, and then I did some of these snowflakes here, and then I did all the green that's in, all this color green that's in this tree. So when I pull this out again, I'm going to backstitch. So what I think I'm going to do, what I decided last week, because I did not realize until last week that there was backstitching. I don't know why, but or the week before. So what I'm going to do is I'll spend 1 week cross stitching, and then the next week I will backstitch what I can, and then I'll go back and cross stitch more. So I'm going to backstitch P, and then I'm going to finish this tree right here and with the cross stitching, and then if I have time I will backstitch it as well. And then if I have more time after that, I don't know where I'll go after that. But that's my goal for this coming week, is to backstitch this, finish this cross stitching, and maybe get the backstitching done on it. Or maybe I'll cross stitch this first and then backstitch both. I don't know. Anyway, but that's where I'm at with it. So cross stitching wise, because there's backstitching, and I count the backstitching, but it's not included in the pattern keeper count. I've done 1,164 stitches out of 6,661. I am at 17.47%. So there is that. So this stays out every week until it is done. And now Gracie is sitting right here where I was going to put something, and now I can't because she's right there. Okay. Gracie, girl. Okay, next up is, let's do the Hayes Sal first. Next up is the Stitch Along from Heaven and Earth Designs. This is a closed stitch along, so you can no longer join it. We had an option of 10 pieces to pick from. I'm like repeating myself every week, but it's like every week I get new people watching me, so if you've never seen this, this is why I repeat it. We had 10 charts to pick from, and this is the one I opted for. This is Merry Mushroom Village Picnic 2 by Amy Stewart. It is 300 by 205. It has 90 colors. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. It's a total of 61,500 stitches. It was divided, all the charts were divided into 4 parts, and parts 1, 2, and 3 have been released. So when I give my numbers, this will be for the parts that have been released so far, not the total project. If we complete 4 pages by the end of the year, then we get all 10 of the charts that were made available, or that we could pick from. If we complete the entire piece, we get all the charts that we could pick from, plus 2 charts off of the Hayes site for free. So of course I want the free stuff, so I'm trying to finish it. Okay, I now have I have done this, so I've been pulling this out and working on it bit by bit every day. I was doing weekly stitches on it, then I got behind because I moved and life and blah 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 blah, and then I figured out how many stitches a day I would need to finish it just for fun, and I was like, you know what, that's not that bad. It was like 187 or 189, and I was like, well, if I do 200 a day, then that will actually start decreasing. And so what I recently started doing was on the weekends, I'll do 400 a day. So, and then I ended up working extra last night on it because I had already worked on all the pieces. And so now I only need 177 a day to complete the piece by the end of the year. This week, I have done a total of 2,251 stitches. This is where I'm at with it so far. I have completed, so when you saw the before picture, you saw something that was similar to this, but it was in this diagonal over here. I have completed this diagonal completely, and I have started on this one. So I now have a total of 39,707 stitches completed, and I am 67.46% completed with parts 1, 2, and 3. And I am slowly lowering this. But yeah, so I'm 67.46% complete with parts 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to keep working on this bit by bit, day by day, doing 200 stitches a day during the week and 400 stitches a day on the weekends. I'm doing a 2/1 10th stitch on a 28 count easy count Lugana. Someone had asked me if I'm going to do this stitch along for 2025 because there's a rumor going around that they're going to have one. I'm going to look and see what the option, I don't want to say no, just in case there is something that really catches my eye. But I don't have this in a bag right now, so I work on it every day. I will look and see if there's something that really catches my eye, but if there's not something where I'm like, oh my God, I want that so bad, then no, I will not do this again. I want to throw this thing out the window. I'm like so done with it. If it wasn't for the free charts, I would be so far behind right now. I am only staying at the level I'm staying at because I want free stuff. And I kind of got peer pressured into joining this. So yeah. Yeah, so I don't think right now I'm gonna say no. But if there's a option that I'm like, oh my God, that is adorable, I want that, I want to do that like right now, then I will join. But right now, no. Okay, last piece, last whip is Honeymoon Sunset. This is from the CrossStitch Studio. Artwork is by Abraham Hunter. This is my favorite whip. Love it so much. It's $8.69 by $6.49. It has 133 colors. This is what it's, that's what it's gonna look like when it's done. I love it so much. I just love it. Okay, so I had a goal earlier this year. At the beginning of the year, I had a goal to get 25,000 stitches on it. And I completed that in July. And I was getting multiple comments, oh, keep it out, keep it out. And I found a method of stitching on it on the diagonal where I really, really enjoyed stitching on it. And I wanted to keep it out too. So I was like, well, you know what? Let me go ahead and set a goal on it. So right now I want to push myself to get it to 45%. I'm untangling threads because they got caught in the zipper of my project bag. So I set myself a goal to have it to 45% by the end of 2025. Okay, that is annoying right there. You're annoying. All right, 45% by the end of 2025. Okay, I'm gonna show you the before picture of the diagonal that I'm currently working on. I'm doing this 2/1 10th stitch on a 25 count easy count Lugana. I started doing this on the diagonal coming from the right, and I got another 624 stitches on it. Look at that. I'm almost done with the diagonal there. Look at that. It looks so good. Oh, it looks so good. I just have a couple more stitches in this tree right here. Like there's a couple stitches here, but I was like getting these park threads up here because some of them were traveling, the symbols were traveling down. So I was getting some of these worked in so I didn't end up having like a bunch of an overabundance of park threads, even though there's a lot already. But yeah, so once I get that diagonal done, I'll move on to the next one. Okay, numbers real quick and then I'll show the whole piece. So I did 624 stitches on it this week. I now have 196,559 out of 563,981, and I am at 34.85%. Everyone loves seeing the whole thing. Oh, by the way, my shirt. Let me show my shirt real quick. It says, yes, I'm cold, me 24/7. Okay, here's the whole piece. I'm gonna back up, maybe not. Why am I having such a hard time showing this whole thing? There we go. Show my park threads. Yeah, and then I'll bring it in. But here's the whole piece so far. So here's the tree from hell. That palm tree is no joke, I swear to God. And I hate palm trees. And then I work my way across the top. You got the lighthouse coming in here. There's my diagonal that I'm working on with more palm trees. Gazebo right there. Couple more diagonals because I do 20 at a time. So I think not this diagonal, but maybe the next one I'll start hitting the gazebo to finish it off. Just the tip though. But yeah, I'm gonna double check Pattern Keeper because I feel like I'm gonna be hitting the, oh wait, I can see it right here. So I'll get this diagonal. No, it's still gonna be a couple before I hit this lighthouse. And we've got the sailboat coming in right there. Park threads that I haven't worked in on this side, and then corner down here with all the flowers. So one more time, maybe. I wrap it around myself like a towel. Ooh, it's almost like towel size. All right, let me open this door back up. Okay, so those are all my whips. Shh. Okay. Let's update my boards. After I get this monstrous thing folded back up, put back in the bag. All right. So, and that 45% goal is not really a goal until the end of next year, not this year. So, let's get these boards updated. Okay. My full coverage board. So my full coverage pieces, I have 20 to pick from, and I want to get 10,000 sit. Now these are not goals I almost dropped that board. Ooh, that would have been so bad because it would have hit the phone, knocked it into the light, made a loud noise. I would have cut that out, but anyway. Full coverage pieces, I want to get 10,000 stitches on them. There's no ends, like I don't want to do this by the end of the year, obviously, because look at that. I mean, I just started this in August. Yeah, August I started this. So this is just, because what I'm hoping is that these are going to be like long-term plans. And so I have 10 pieces that I picked myself, and then 10 pieces that I randomly picked out of a basket. And so if a goal gets hit, that's one of my picks, then I will choose the project to replace it. And if it was a random pick, then I will randomly draw something out of the basket to replace it. So let's get these numbers updated. Checking the list. right up here, number 3. Where did my eraser go? Dagnabbit, where did that eraser go? Let me take the one off of here. Okay, checking the list is now up to 801. And the goal has dropped down to 9,199. I don't want to put the cap back on. Hang on. Let me put it on this way. Okay. We're going to go through these boards pretty quick because I only have 1 full coverage and 1 non-full coverage instead of 2. Okay. Oh, that's where it is. I put it right there. Okay, well, I moved it right there, so we're just going to move all these erasers around. Okay, non-full coverage was, what was it? What was it? I don't know. 3 bird watchers. Oh, and for everyone who saw last week's video, I had accidentally put this number here. I fixed it. Okay, 3 bird watchers. Number 18. Let's make sure I get this right this time. 3 bird watchers. 602. 18. Here we go. This goal is now 4,398. So full coverage gets 10,000 stitches. Non-full coverage gets 5,000 stitches. And then oh, by the way, I mentioned last week I had gotten some wet erase markers and I was going to rewrite my whips in the wet erase so that they don't get erased so easily. And I started writing with the wet erase marker and it was like coming out like super gross looking. I didn't like it, so there's that. Okay. So this board, I have my new starts and my work towards a finish. Let's do the work towards a finish real quick. Halloween letters. Oh, it's way down here. So I don't have goals, stitch goals for these because I don't know how many stitches it's going to be to finish them. So for right now, I'm just going to write the date that it was finished. Halloween letters is now up to 927. We're just tracking how many stitches I do on these pieces. 927 stitches. Okay, for the new starts, I have goals of, I'm trying to get it without the ring light. There we go. New starts, I have goals of 3,000 stitches on each of these, each of these new starts. There we go. So Christmas cupcake, I did 625. And so this goal is down to 2,375. So what I'm going to do for the new starts is this week I'm going to pick another new start, and then starting next week I have the new starts in a basket, and starting next week I'm going to pull one of these 5 new starts and work on it and I'll just keep rotating through them until they hit their 3,000 stitches. Once they hit their 3,000 stitches, then it will get set aside and it will get replaced with another new start. Okay. So you're gonna start seeing that stuff get replaced before you see the other stuff get replaced, because that's only 3,000 stitches, and it's going to, oh, I forgot I have another board. And it's only 3,000 stitches, and there's only going to be 5 to rotate through. And so you'll see that get done faster. Okay, let's get this stuff updated here. Okay. Merry Mushroom Village, my goal is to finish by the end of 2024. So this number right here is the total stitch count of 61,500. When I give my numbers, when I'm telling you my progress, it's the current releases, but this is how many stitches are left in the entire piece, including the part that has not been released yet. So the completed stitches has gone up to 39,707, and the remaining stitches for that piece has dropped to 21,793. So what I'm hoping is that because if I have a really good week on that stitching it again, that will drop below 20,000 stitches. If I had a week on it this coming week like I did this past week, that's going to drop below 20,000, and that's going to be super exciting. Okay, Honeymoon Sunset. My goal is to get 45% by the end of 2025. Right now, I want to say it was like almost 60,000 stitches that needed to be done. So that's what I figured out how many stitches it was going to be, and that's what this number is right here. So this has increased, stitches completed has increased to 1,993, and this drops down to 57,233. What I'm hoping is as these focus pieces get finished, I'll be able to put more work in on this, especially that one right there. So next year, for sure, I'll be able to work a lot more on this. What I might do is I might do daily stitching on this once that gets done. Okay, Magnificent Wizard. Well, I mean, I'll go ahead and do this. It's done, but I mean, my goal's done. I got 31,003 because I did 965 stitches and I needed 962 to get my goal. So that is done. Done. Okay, yippee-ki-yay. My goal is to finish it. So it's got like 6,661 stitches, and I added 1,000 stitches to account for the back stitching on it. So this total right here of stitches completed has gone up to 1,489, and the stitches remaining, this is an estimate because I don't know how many back stitches there are. 6172. There's all my boards. Okay. Hang on. Hang on a second. These whips are in my way. Oh my God, now these whips are in my way. Okay, I can't move my chair. Okay, real quick, let me show you my Stitchy kindness. So, and then we'll move on to some other stuff. Okay, first thing I want to show you is my friend Marianne messaged me and she said, hey, I have this pattern that I stitched and I'm done with it, and I know that you really like gnomes. I was wondering if you wanted it. And I was like, yeah. And so she sent me, I don't speak French, so I'm going to call it Olympic Gnomes from Jardin Privé. That's the name of it. I don't want to butcher it and sound terrible with my, American accent. So we're going to call it Olympic Gnomes. And it's so cute. I'm really excited to get some fabric for this. I mean, I have fabric for it, but I have fabric that I have. Oh my God. I probably have some fabric that I could stitch this on. That's what I was trying to say. I just haven't pulled it out. That's what I was trying to say. And it calls for DMC. So I just need to find some fabric in my stash that this will fit on. and I can add this to my start pile. And so thank you. So I also, she gave me a note, and she sent me a couple other things along with it. I was only expecting that pattern, and then I like open it and this other stuff falls out. She sent me some flosses, some DMCs, a variegated DMC that she has some duplicates of, but this one is 106. And then she also sent 115. That one's really pretty. Ooh, this would be good on a Christmas piece. And then she also sent me this Dinky Dyes silk in the color, almost said 8 meters, in the color Midnight. That's really pretty. And I'm not done yet. She sent me 2 other patterns. This one is from, is it Twisted Threads? Yeah, Twisted Threads. And let me do it like this because part of the pattern shows, but it says on Dasher, on Dancer, on Master, and Visa. I like that. That's cute. She sent me that. And it calls for DMC, some Krynic, and a couple rainbow galleries. So that's from 1994. That's even older than my 3 bird watchers. And then the other one she sent me was from Country Cottage Needleworks. And from 2016, was this one of their, no, I think this is just one of their, like, not a series pieces. Make lemonade. It says, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. That's really cute. I think that's going to look even cuter on different fabric. I don't really like that fabric it's on. Lamb's wool linen. I don't really like it. But I think it's going to look super cute on other fabric. Oh, that's why it's lamb's wool by Witch Elf. I don't like Witch Elf fabric very much. So thank you, Marianne. That was so nice of you. I very much appreciate it. I received that yesterday. Got that package in the mail yesterday. And my friend Yoshi, who is a fellow flosser. Marianne does not have a Flosstube channel. If she did, I would link it down below. But my friend Yoshi, who is a Flosstuber, I will link his channel down below. He went to London last week, week before, came back earlier this week. But anyway, he had mentioned in one of his videos before his trip that he was going, and I was half joking, and I said, bring me back a magnet. Because I collect magnets when I go places. And so if I know someone's going somewhere, I always tell them, bring me back a magnet. So he messaged me when he got back, and he was like, hey, give me your address. I got a magnet for you. And he sent me 2. So this is the first one. Look at that. Like, it's like, I was honestly, get my face out of there. I honestly was expecting like one of those flat magnets that says London. I was really expecting one of those. And this is the other one he sent me. Oh, it's a crown. Like, they're so beautiful. So he sent me a carriage and a crown. Thank you, Yoshi. You're so sweet. I love these so much. I love them so much. Like, they're my favorite magnets right now. I love them. Yeah, he was like, I told him, I was like, I was not expecting these. I'm going to hold this up again because I really love it. I was like, I was not expecting something like this. I was thinking it was going to be a flat one that said London. He was like, yeah, I got these when I was like doing one of the tours or something. And he was like, I thought they would be nicer than like a typical tourist magnet. Yeah, Thank you. Okay. Okay, let's see. What are we talking about next? I know, I still have to draw my whips. I told you that I had a lot to talk about. Okay, let's talk about the Whip of Shame winner. Okay, real quick. I'm just going to show you the cover photos of the two options that everyone had to pick from. So, for the month of September, 2 weeks ago, I had pulled two Whips of Shame, and I had you guys vote on which one you wanted to see me work on for the month of September. First option was from Designs for the Needle, and this is Goodnight Bears. And then the other option was from the Disney Dreams collection, Thomas Kincaid kits that MCG Textiles put out years ago, Beauty and the Beast. Hang on. I don't need this plastic on here anymore. I don't know why I still have it. That's better. So these were the two that you had to pick from. Now, I was surprised. I was very surprised. I was thinking, out of these two, I thought that this was going to be the winner. And it's not. Y'all picked this one. Like, there was votes for Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast had 48 votes. Goodnight Bears had 72. Like, I thought people were going to pick this one because it's one, you know, because I see people on Facebook all the time, oh, I'm looking for this kit. You know, not all the time, like every post, but I see people, you know, a lot saying, oh, I wish I had this, you know, those Dream Collection kits. It's Beauty and the Beast. It's Disney, it's Beauty and the Beast. It looks fancy. I thought for sure that this was going to get a lot more votes than it did. And it did not. And I'm surprised. But what I will say, y'all voted for these freaking bears. Which I'm okay with. Like, I was okay with either one. But Alara said, people just want to see you get your really old shit done and out of here. I was like, yeah, I guess so. Because this is from 2004, this one here. And, but I was noticing in some of the comments that some of you guys voted for the bears because you also thought that Beauty and the Beast was going to get a crap ton of votes and you wanted to give the bears some love. Didn't need your help. You could have voted for this one. It's still would have, like, 5 people were like, oh, I'm going to vote for the bears because I think everyone's going to vote for Beauty and the Beast. Shock and awe over here that this thing was the winner. I like, oh, I put that in the wrong spot. Whoopsies. Oh, hang on. I put the cover photo in the wrong bag. Hang on a second. So, someone did mention, I just want to talk about Beauty and the Beast for a minute because, that's my starting point with it. I keep saying because I'm trying to think of how I want to say this. I'm not the biggest fan of these kits. And someone has suggested stopping working on it and selling, like what I have done, like just getting rid of it, like either by selling it or giving it away or whatever. So what I would like to do unless I pull this thing out and I'm like, you know what? Nope, I don't want to do this. I kind of want to work on this so that people who are really wanting to get these patterns can see how they turn out and realize that they are not worth the money. I got this one, and I also have the Little Mermaid one that I have not started yet. And I got them when they were on sale. But there is a reason why this company went out of business. There is a reason for that, because they sucked. And I kind of want to keep working on, like, keep this as a whip so that if some, like, kind of so I have a reference so that when someone says, oh, I really want this, it's not, because people are trying to sell these on Facebook and eBay for like over $100. It is not worth the money. It really, do not waste your money on these. Really, do not. You can find bootleg patterns on Etsy that are nicer for cheaper. Okay. So, Whip of Shame winner, Goodnight Bears. This is a kit from Jan Lynn, Designs for the Needle. I got this back in 2004. Does it say who designed it? Fiona Jude. And this is my starting point with it. I'm just using whatever came in the kit. Right here. I already made a working copy of the pattern. I was debating where I was going to work. I made a working copy of the pattern, and I highlighted, because I did it in 2 halves, and I took one of the halves and I highlighted all the stitches that were on that. I'm going to work on this side of the piece over here. This side over here where that bear is. And my goal for the month will be about 100 stitches a day, sometimes a little bit more, to get a goal. How many days are in September? 30? 3,000 stitches. 100 stitches a day for 30 days will be 3,000 stitches. So I've already got everything marked up on the working copy so that I know exactly where to go, and I'm sitting there hunting like I was with Magnificent Wizard, trying to figure out where I was and what I've done. So I can start that now because I finished my goal for Magnificent Wizard. And I was looking at the calendar, and I think that's what I'd like to do is I'm going to do my stitches, but I want to try to hit the goal of 3,000 stitches before the final Flosstube of that current month, so that the new Whip of Shame can be started right after that, and I don't have to pull, like, if I was just doing 100 a day on Magnificent Wizard, then I would have to pull that back out next week to show you today's stitches and tomorrow's stitches for the 30th, and I don't want to do that for 200 stitches. So that's why I pushed, and I just did them all, like all the rest of it yesterday. So that's what I'm gonna end up doing for this too is I'll, because sometimes I go over, like if I have a thread that I'm working in, I'll go ahead and finish the thread off. And so sometimes it'll be over 100 stitches. And so I want to try to hit the 3,000 before the end of the month, like before the final Flosstube of the month, so that I can start the next Whip of Shame after that final Flosstube of the month. Okay. And in 2 weeks, I'll draw 2 more contenders for the Whip of Shame for you to vote on for the month of October. Okay. I'm going to draw my projects now, finally, after an hour and 14 minutes. And I do have something else that we need to talk about as well, but I want to draw the projects first. Okay. I changed the paper that these are on, by the way, so it's not going to be white paper. I changed it, I color coded them. So for the full coverage for the week is going to be Birdhouse Gardens. I'm gonna draw my pieces and then pause the video and grab them. Okay, that's the full coverage for the week. The non-full coverage for the week is going to be Home Sweet Home. This is the third time I've drawn this effing piece since I started doing this. All right. Yellow. In this one here, I have the Whips of Shame, the Work On Till They're Finished, and then the New Starts. Like once I get the 5 new starts to pick from, those are in here too. So hang on, I need to divide the colors up a little bit here. This was why I started color coding them, because it was getting confusing with, there we go. It was getting confusing with having all 3 types in here. So the yellow is what I'm picking from. I'm gonna look at you so it doesn't look like I'm cheating. And what's gonna be my Work On Till I Finish this week? Let me just pull this out and close this thing before it Bake the World. All right, and my final, and I just realized that I have my full coverage and my Work On Till They're Finished in the same color. That's all right though. All right, my new start for the week is going to be Autumn Angel. I think that's a kit. Pretty sure that's a kit. Okay. I'm gonna pause the video, pull the projects. We'll come back. Was that all I had to draw? Yeah. Come back. I'm gonna show you those, and I'm also going to talk about something else. So stay tuned. All right. Okay. I just ran out to the kitchen to check the time, and Mr. Whiskers is sitting in there looking, because it's after 7 o'clock now and it's time for his num-nums. I was like, I know, it's almost time. He's just sitting there looking like, where's my num-nums? Okay, he'll get them after I'm done. All right, so real quick, I'm going to show you the pieces I'm going to work on, and then I want to talk to you about one more thing, and I have some more stuff to show. So my work on, I'm just going to go in the pile that I have right here. My Work On Until It's Finished is Bake the World a Better Place from Franny Ritter Designs. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. I need to get these stupid beads. There's beads that go in this, and I need to get them. Maybe I'll order those this week. Maybe. Or I'll write them down and then I'll just order them like next week or something, because I still got a bit to go on this. I'm doing this on a 28 count Jobelin, by which it was like something that I got from somebody, someone sent me fabric, and it's a 28 count Jobelin in the color coffee. I know I said earlier, I don't like fabrics by which I didn't buy this, someone gave it to me. And that is my starting point. So I still have to backstitch that cupcake. Why didn't I do that? Oh, I haven't worked on this since I started doing this. That's why. I was like, why didn't I do that when I pulled it out? Because I haven't pulled it out since I started doing this. So that's my starting point. And there's like folds and stuff. I was going to say this at the beginning. I don't iron my stuff until I'm done. Actually, even then I don't iron it. I give it to my mom. And then she irons it when she figures out what to do with it. Where am I putting this? I'll put it down. I'll put it down here. Okay. The non-fold coverage piece. I like the piece. I keep rolling my eyes because I have pulled this thing out. I started doing these new plans at the beginning of August. This is the third time I pulled this frickin' project out. This is from Design Works, and it's Home Sweet Home. designed by Nanette Parisi. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. And I'm doing it on a 14 count black Aida. That's what came in the kit. I mean, it's going to look really good when it's done. So it's like, that's not what, I'm just irritated because this is the third time I pulled this stupid piece out. I guess the cross stitch gods are like, you know, you really need to get working on this thing and get this folded. So hopefully I'll be able to put in more than 400 stitches or whatever I put it. I actually, wait, hold on. Yeah, I only have 684 stitches on it since I started doing this. So hopefully I'll be able to get a decent amount on this done so I can knock that goal down a bit more. Okay. The full coverage piece for the week is Birdhouse Gardens. This is from Heaven and Earth Designs. Artwork is by Ciro Marchetti. And I love it. This is what it's going to look like when it's done. This is regular size, regular colors. I'll go over all that next week after when I show it after I've worked on it. I think one of the cats found a bottle cap. If you heard that noise, that was one of them playing with something. But that's what it's going to look like when it's done. And this is being stitched on a 20 count Aida with the call for colors. And this is a gridded fabric. And so you guys remember what I was talking about? About going to the corners and doing diagonals? That's where I'm at with that. This is a gridded fabric. I might count over to this. I think it's going to end somewhere. I got a piece bigger than what I needed, so I'm not sure exactly where, because it's 600 by 420. So I might count over to the opposite corner and do a couple diagonal. I'm not trying to give you the finger, but this finger is longer than the other ones. So I can point. I might come over to this corner over here and do a couple diagonals. And then the next time it comes out, go down to the bottom corner and do, I might do that. Oh, I'm so crazy. Crazy. Okay. Oh, I'll go ahead and give you the percentage of that since it's right here. 2.36%. Okay. And I'm doing that full cross, so that's why I'm like, yeah, I could probably go ahead and do that. Okay, my new start is going to be from Design Works, another Design Works piece. This is Autumn Angel from Jim Shore Designs. That is what it's going to look like when it's done. I will most likely, because it's a kit, I will most likely start in the center or as close to the center as I can, because I think the center is, of course, oh no, the center is actually this right here. It's going to be right here. So I'll probably start in the center and work on this right here. So it's going to be some boring blue and light blue. Light blue and lighter blue stitching that you'll see. Maybe I'll even try to do some of the back stitching on it. Ooh, maybe if I work on just that darker light blue, if I get that little border of darker light blue done, maybe I'll go ahead and back stitch that so it gives some definition. I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, that's my new start for the week. Okay. So those plus, oh my God, I have a hair. Those plus, oh, I have a hair hanging that was attached still. Okay, there we go. That kind of hurt. Plus Honeymoon Sunset, plus the Sal, plus Yippee-Ki-Yay, and Goodnight Bears. I almost said Magnificent Wizard, but Goodnight Bears for the new Whip of Shame. Okay, so I worked on all my projects, and because I cut down, instead of doing 2 full coverage and 2 non-full coverage, I decided to cut down to 1 of each because I was stressing myself out trying to get all the projects worked on, right? And I got all these projects worked on and I had a day to spare. And I was like, wow, I have all this extra free time. And I thought to myself, this is too easy. How can you make life more chaotic? What can you do to make things more difficult for yourself? And I decided to take an idea that Stitchy has, that she is currently doing. Again, her channel is linked down below. She wanted to do some type of, she wanted to try to get, so brief rundown, but go check out her channel so she explains it, because she'll explain it more. But she wanted to get, slow progress on a lot of things. So she decided to do her version of a temperature cell. Not where you stitch one project and change the colors every day based on the temperature. She has all these temperatures listed and projects assigned to each temperature, and whatever that temperature of the day is, be it high or low, whatever she decided, she does X number of stitches. I think she said 100, I can't remember exactly, on that project. And when I was listening to her, I was like, wow, that's a really cool idea. And I want to do it. But I'm changing it just a little bit. So thank you, Stitchy, for making me cause even more madness over here in my corner of the world. So what I decided to do was, because I didn't want a crap ton, because I mean, she's got like 30 projects listed, and I didn't want to have all of that. And our temperatures, because I live in Florida and it's mostly hot all the time. And so I didn't want to do all this work of assigning these projects to all these temperatures, and either some never get worked on, because I mean, temperatures can here, especially in like the winter, it's hot. I say it's hot all the time, but then we'll have where it's like 90, a high of 90 one day, and then the very next day has a high of 50. And then sometimes it's like we go months with like no changes in the temperature, right? So what I decided to change about it was I took the numbers 0 through 9. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I selected 10 projects and assigned them to the numbers 0 through 9. And whatever the temperature is that day, whatever the high is the day, like if it's a high of 90, whatever project is assigned to the number 0, I'm going to do 100 stitches. If the high is 80, that project will get 100 stitches. So that way I have a better chance of getting these stitches in on them, right? I mean, if I really want to be crazy, I could do 100 on the high and 100 on the low. Now, I don't know if this is going to work. I really don't. It's just something I'm going to try out for the month of September. I might actually go ahead and start it like tonight and like start with today's temperatures. But I wanted to show you what the projects are that I assigned to these numbers. So, hang on, they're over here, propped up against the couch. I probably should, oh God, hang on. I should have reset. Hang on a second. Let me get this stuff moved out of the way. Again, I know, this is crazy. This is craziness. I cut down on the whips for a reason, and now here I am adding to the chaos. So my plan right now is to at least do the high temperature. I might even try to do the low temperature as well. But this is just something extra that I would like to do. So what I may do is, if I can't get to the stitches that day, I will just work on them throughout, you know, when I can throughout the week or even on the weekend. So it's going to kind of vary, and I'll keep you guys posted as to what still owed stitches. And if it's going to be too much, then I may stop doing it, or maybe like I may just, because this is something that I kind of want, I would like to do it. I just don't know how feasible it's going to be right now, because of the other focus pieces that I have. So if this doesn't work out right now, what I might have to do is maybe put it on hold until at least one of the focus pieces drops off, like when it gets done. So it might have to wait until later this year or even next year, at least once the Haid style is done. I don't know. But for right now, I'm going to kind of do what Siski's doing, but a little bit different. So the first project in my version of Siski's temperature sow is going to be, if the temperature ends, and I'm going to try to do the high and the low, but I might have to cut to only the high, but I figure the more stitches, the better, right? So if the temperature ends in a 0, then where is it? Then the project that will get 100 stitches is Twisted Band Sampler. How exciting! How exciting is that, right? And when I put these stitches in, that's when I'll talk about what fabric it's on and everything, but I just want to show you my starting points with them. That's my starting point with it. And I do have this in Pattern Keeper. So right now I am at 2.36% done. So if the temperature ends in 0, then Twisted Band Sampler will get 100 stitches. Okay, if the temperature ends in a 1, 71, 81, 91, 101, then the project that will get 100 stitches will be this kit from Artiste, Merry Christmas. And when I picked these pieces, I wanted to pick things that were non-full coverage for right now. Non-full coverage, and I have a book in my lap and I'm trying to tuck it under my belly fat so it stays, so it stays in place and it doesn't fall on the floor. Oh my God, I make myself sound like I'm 500 pounds. And this is my starting point. So how I picked these projects was, for right now, I wanted them to be non-full coverage, of course not a new start, pieces that I wanted to get more progress on, that these are pieces and they're not in my current rotation. Did I already put, oh, I already put the cover photo back in there. So I scrolled through my list of whips. Oh, there it is, okay. I scrolled through my list of whips and I just kind of snagged ones that caught my eye. If the project ends in a 2, now I have to go digging for my notebook so I can get the colors for this one, because I did some color changes. If the project ends in a 2, then the one that will get 100 stitches will be my Sampler 124 from 2x2 Stitch Art. I'm looking for it on Pattern Keeper. Sampler 124. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. But I'm doing color changes, and I will go over this if it gets worked on this week. I do have this in Pattern Keeper. So I am at 10.02% done. So I will talk about the colors because I don't have the colors with me right now. Like they're in a notebook somewhere in this room. I gotta find it. But that's where I'm at with that. That's my starting point. If the temperature ends in a 3, then the project that gets 100 stitches will be from Hands-On Design, Let's Talk Stitching. And this is my, it's all folded up. This is not the only, like there's more. But that's my starting point with that one. If the temperature ends in a 4, then that project will be Gothic House from Stitching Jewels Design. Becky, I know you're excited about this. You have no idea that I was doing this, but I know Becky from Becky's Madness for Crafting, she is working on this too. That's what it's going to look like when it's done. It's a monochrome piece. And that is my starting point. I am at 10.02% on that one. I think, wasn't the other one 10.02% too? So that's my starting point for that. And if the temperature ends in a 5, that project will be Sea Turtle. I don't know why I'm talking like this. The project will be Sea Turtle from Stitching Jewels Design again. That's what that one will look like. And again, I will go over fabrics and threads and all that when they get worked on. This is my starting point with it. Hang on. Okay. That's my starting point with it. And I am at 22.81% complete on this one. If the temperature ends in a 6, the project will be Haunted Library Sal from Lola Crow Cross Stitch. That's what it's going to look like. Is this chapter 10? Yeah, that's what it's going to look like when it's done. I am so far I'm so far behind. This was from 2 years ago. That's a bad printout, by the way. That my printer was like not behaving that day. So yeah, Yoshi is doing the Deadly Aquarium Sal, and he showed it in his last Flosstube, and he was like, "Oh my god, I'm so far behind. I'm only on the frame." I commented, I was like, "Dude, I'm on the prologue on the Haunted Library Sal, and that one was put out before the aquarium was." That's my starting point. I'm still on the prologue. So, yeah. So, Yoshi, I want to add this to our list of projects. If I ever post on Instagram, he and I have similar projects that we are going to do a hashtag of someday I'll finish it, Sal. Someday I'll finish it. If the temperature ends in a 7, then that will be Peacock Gnome. This is from cutebroidery.com. I'm holding it back here because this is the entire project. Peacock Gnome. And hold on. I had to think about where the starting point was for this. That's my starting point for that. We're almost there. I know you guys are watching this and you're like, Jake, what are you doing? God, that's such a great idea. But what are you doing? Again, this was not my idea. This was from Sisky. So you can go over onto her channel and check out her craziness because it's even worse than mine. Okay, if this temperature ends in an 8, this artiste kit called Welcome will be that 100 stitches. And that's my starting point. And the last one, if the temperature ends in a 9, this is my newest, out of all these projects, this is the newest one. Hang on, I gotta find, this is why I had the book tucked under my fat. If the temperature ends in a 9, the project will be Spanish Sampler. I gotta come in from the side because there's a pattern on the other side. Oh, it's hard to show. Spanish Sampler. This is out of, well, I'll go over it. Well, let me just tell you real quick. This is out of the 101 Best Love Designs from Cross Stitch and Country Crafts. And this is my starting point. I really like this piece a lot. Okay. Okay. So for right now, I'm going to shoot for doing 100 on the high and 100 on the low. I'm gonna start it today. And I'm gonna try to do this for the month of September. If I can't get to those, because that's a lot of stitches to do on a weeknight, because I'm doing 100 stitches a day on Whip of Shame. I'm doing 200 stitches a day on the Haid Sal. And then if I do 100 stitches on the high, 100 stitches on the low, that's almost the entire night of stitching. So what I may have to do, and it all depends on what time I get home from work and if I have my kids. Because if I have my kids, I have to cook dinner because stupid humans need to eat. Why do you have to eat? If I don't have my kids, like, it's like after 7 o'clock right now, I haven't eaten dinner yet. I'm not even hungry. I don't eat dinner a lot. Like, I eat when I cook for them because I'm a really good cook and the food smells so good I want to eat it. But if I don't have the boys, I don't really cook dinner, or I do something super quick like a sandwich or ramen, or I just pick something up because I don't like cooking for one person. So this may have to be something where I'm tracking what needs to have stitches done, and then I do them when I have more time at the end of the week or the weekend, whatever. If it gets to be too much, then we'll put a hold. I'll get those stitches caught up just because I said I was going to do them, but I may have to put a hold on this for the month of October, maybe even November. We'll have to see. But if this works out, and then I think what I'll do when I show you guys what temperature projects were worked on, I'll just tell you, you know, the high ended in a 4 on this many days, the low ended in a 4, you know, like something like that. I don't know. I'm not going to be like, oh, the high was 84 and the low was every day, but I'll just kind of tell you what I was able to work on and how many days like it got stitches. If this works out and I am able to stay fairly caught up on this in addition to my other stuff, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to track how many stitches get completed on each one. And when it hits 1,000, that project will get replaced with something else. Because this is just extra. And I'm not going to get another board for that just yet. I'll just track it like in a notebook or something for right now. So if this idea pans out, I think it will definitely pan out once I don't have 2 daily stitching projects anymore. Because the Hade Sal, I know I said I was going to do Honeymoon Sunset 200 a day next year, but once the Hade Sal gets done, I won't have to, or at least once I get so caught up that I'm not stressed about stitching on it every day anymore. There's Gracie. That I think it will work out better. And once those projects get 1,000 stitches, then I will replace them with another piece. And if it keeps working out this way, I may replace them, I may switch them out for a full coverage piece, but I might have to stick to a full coverage piece that doesn't have a lot of confetti, where it's going to take me a while to get 100 stitches. Does that make sense? Yeah. I know, you don't have to say it. I already know. What else could I do to make my life more difficult? Let's add more daily stitching with all new projects and all more things to track. So yeah, I think I'm going to try to do that. I think I'm going to try to do that temperature stuff starting today. And I'm excited. So we're going to see a bunch of stitching next weekend, because this is my week without the kids, and Labor Day is on Monday, so happy Labor Day to the US and apparently to Canada. I guess they have Labor Day on Monday as well, from what I understand, from what someone told me. But anyway, happy Labor Day if you celebrate. And I have no plans on Labor Day. My mom might text me and say, "What are you doing?" So I may or may not go over there if they're going to do something. If not, I probably won't. I'll just stay at home. So Monday's going to be like a free day for me. Yay. And hopefully I'll be able to get a lot of stitching in on that day. And I may try to do some extra filming on some other stuff, because I know I said I was going to do a stash dive where I show you the projects that I don't have kitted up or anything. Not like my new start basket, but patterns that I need to get fabric for and all that stuff. So maybe I'll try to film some extra videos this weekend too. I don't know. We'll see. All right. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comment section down below. If you like what you had to see and you're not already subscribed, then go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below and the bell to be notified whenever I post a new video. I think that's about it. So take care, happy stitching, get a lot of stitches in, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.